Hello, good people. Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. If I sound a little bit dull, it's because I'm just about to keep it real with you. The starter in the chat, the seasonings, lollipop. Somebody find lollipop and say I am sorry. I told lollipop, don't ask me where I found her, okay? I told lollipop I'll be here at 3 p.m. I meant 4. Actually, I didn't mean 4. I meant 3, but I had negated the fact that life was life really quick. So we're here now. Thank you for holding space for me, my usual crew, and everyone in the chat. Hey there. It's Seasons in the chat. Seasons is back. Seasons, darling, how are you? I missed you all. I was supposed to be here on Friday. Then life lifed. I mean, my life has been lifey lately. Look, I am kind of getting my energy levels back. And Seasons, I've got one of my real moments with you. For you, like, you know what, you people you people are enabling my inadequacies, okay? Now look at me blaming you. No, it's all fun and games, but the fact is I ain't got all my ingredients sorted. How is that for real? That's just, by the way, let me close the window here. We're about to make a chocolate cake and I haven't got all my ingredients together. Talk about being a baker and not having your ingredient. Do you think I am always organized? Well, if you haven't worked it out, I can't help you, okay? I am not always that. Let's just move on. All I'm saying is we're making a chocolate cake and some of the key ingredients that are needed are not here at the moment. I am counting on the big producer to walk him. Okay, let me tell you what's happened. I knew I was coming on a live. I had planned for us to do something else. And then I remembered I had misbooked a cake in my diary. That's how real my life has got, okay? So I realized, oh shoot, the cake is for the weekend and I have commitments on the weekend. So this is a mad dash. So I sort of reset my plans. I'm like, let's come here and make a chocolate cake. I have told Lollipop, oh, I'll be here at 3. Meanwhile, I don't know what I'm doing. I've managed to do all of this in the last hour to show up here. And just when I was about to turn the camera on, I'm like, actually, let me have a quick glance of my ingredients. And boy, oh boy, fact is, I ain't got it all together. Add to that, the big producer had just literally walked out and said, oh, I'm going to the shops. Do you need anything? And what do you think I said? Hella no, sir. You can get off to the shop. And now I'm stood here. I'm calling him to get the stuff for me and he's not picking up. But I'm just waiting for him to walk in and I'll be like, sir, can you go back to the shop after I told you I needed nothing? Welcome to my life of chaos. You're welcome. Yes. Look, I need a whole grocery. Now somebody find Lollipop and say, Lollipop, I'm sorry, I meant 3 and I meant 3. But clearly, I've got a problem with timekeeping. People, let's move on. What are we doing? Like I said, we were supposed to be baking a chocolate cake. So here's the deal, my people. This is what may happen. We'll organize the ingredients. Why do I feel breathless? We'll organize the ingredient, line the pans, and stay organized. If it appears, what's his name? The producer. If it appears the producer is going to be longer than we need him to be back, we might just finish the live after organizing the ingredients. I'll head to the shop, come back, and start the next session. I don't mind. I know you people know what we do over here. So we're just rolling with it, okay? But welcome to my life. It just seems like it's a bit chaotic, but we can handle chaos over here. So after saying I don't know, I don't need anything, clearly I need a whole grocery bag of stuff. But yes, if you're not into chocolate cake and other things and baking, you're still welcome. You'll find we're real people, and whilst I talk baking and do all stuff, we talk about life too. So I miss you all. How have you all been? I'll tell you what happened on my Friday. It was a surprise, but it was Friday. Okay, this is what Friday looked like. I had set up my kitchen. I was all dressed with my face, fancy looking like this when you're poorly. And frankly, when I left my kitchen, I was supposed to make a quick stop at what over here we call it a GP, like your primary doctors, just stopping by to say hello or something. Except I wasn't saying hello to my doctor. I had an appointment, but it was just for a minor inconvenience that I thought, oh, let me just walk in and they might just dismiss me of 10 minutes and then I'll come back and continue. So my kitchen was already set up when I walked to the GPs. And before long, it was a 12-hour like journey where I was sent off to the American equivalent of ER. Over here it's A&E, and it just kind of dissolved into this thing. And here we are. So I missed you on Friday. I'm so sorry though, but I hope everybody is well. That's it. We're all right now, and we're back to life, and life is okay, people. Okay, Tabitha. Tabitha is asking, like a checkup or like walking into urgent care. Actually, it was supposed to be a checkup that quickly escalated into urgent care, but it was eventually they found out it was a non-emergency, so nothing to be worried about, nothing to see here. It's just because you're my people, so I kind of just feel like let me just make a mention of it, because suddenly you people have managed to get me to spill my own life, because we were meant to be making cakes, you know, and suddenly I'm telling you. Now the two main ingredients for the chocolate cake. The two main ingredients for the chocolate cake we don't have is A, coffee, and B, oil. Now, I can find substitutes for both coffee and the oil, but this chocolate cake is really important. I really don't want to do a substitute, because in place of oil, you can still melt butter if you don't have oil, depending on the recipe. That is not to say it's a one-to-one swap. Always follow your ingredient recipe instructions and how to yield it, so don't change things, especially if you don't know what you're doing. For this particular recipe, first of all, it's not mine, so I don't want to change it around. Most importantly, oil does something to a chocolate cake in terms of the crumb and how light and textured, it just a nice mouthfeel to it, and I just don't want to substitute it for butter. Now you can have a bit of butter with the oil just to bring flavor, because between oil and butter you can employ the tender properties of oil in a cake whilst bringing flavor by using butter. But butter sets solid at room temperature, so even when you use it in baking, it does eventually influence and affect the texture of your crumb when you bake. So for that reason, because of the method I'm going to be using to derive this, I would rather have oil. And as I speak to you, I don't have flavorless vegetable oil in my kitchen at all, and I don't have coffee. So I am actually, whatever I am doing, I'm just stalling and then waiting for the big producer to walk in so I can ask a favor. So yes, that is where we are. But hopefully that will also allow me some time to be able to catch up with all of you and see how you are keeping. So our new friend is SE, is it? Is it? Did I miss something? Clearly, I missed something. But as long as you guys are having fun, is season still here? Is season still here? Anyway, let's get on with what we're doing. So the chocolate cake we are making, I have done before. It's already up on the channel, but what I will do is I will make an effort to kind of link it down there for you to have, if you like. I went shopping. I went to Costco over the weekend. Look what we have. For a little while now, I couldn't get vanilla from Costco, and it was such a bummer. And as a baker, when I see vanilla, like it's like a little kid with ice cream in hand. It was so exciting. And I picked a couple of bottles of this, which is really nice. I haven't opened it yet. It's the first time I'm opening it, but it's just about to get good. Let's see. There you go. I'm just hoping the big producer hasn't gone further than I think. Because sometimes, you know what they're like? He's like, I'm going to the shop, and yet he's going somewhere like 80 miles away. I don't know. Because if he doesn't make it back, we will be here for a little while. That's just by the way. What am I complaining about? Anyway, so let's just get the ingredients sorted. First, let's line our tin first. I'm baking in 2 8-inch pans. Oh, Lord Ron is back. Lord. Lord, my darling, how are you? Lord of the manor. How are you, my lovely? It's been a while since we last saw you here. Where have you been and what have you been up to? Great to have you back though. Let's get this sorted. And if you're just new joining us, for those of you who are just joining us, do you fancy telling us where you're joining us from and what the time is at your location? We are just curious to know where you're joining us from and what time it is. And I'm just creating some circles to kind of go on the base, just so that it can line the tin. And if you're wondering why you have to line your cake tins, it is just to stop your cakes from sticking to the bottom of your pan. That's the simple reason. Should you do it, are there ways to do it differently? Of course there are. I just prefer to do it this way because I do this out of habit, by the way. So I'm just cutting the diameter circle, and then there you have it. Lord Ron says I'm from Vienna, but ethnicity wise I'm Armenian, and it's 5. Oh, so you're only an hour ahead of us, isn't it? Because it's nearly 4:15 here in the UK. Lord Ron, thank you for stopping by today. Where have you been? Have you been here before? Or you've been here? This is your first time. I know the name Lord Ron, but maybe, you know, the internet is a funny place where people can have the same sort of names, especially when it's not their real name. But I think, Lord Ron, you've been around here before, have you? Great to have you back, though, and thanks for stopping by with us. I'm hoping you've had a good day. No, Lord Ron says I've been here before. So where have you been? Did you decide to go off? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to keep things light and curious with you, my dear. I know life happens, but it's great to have you back. I hope you've had a good day though. How have you been though? What am I doing? I'm just applying some butter. People, remember I did say when we organize the ingredients and the big producer is not here, we might just stop for a little catch up, and then we will end the session. I'll go pick the other ingredients, and we'll come back, and then we'll restart the live again, which will then be primarily about the bacon. Yeah, because I don't know if I can count on the big producer to be back in time, but here we are. But yeah, above all else, if you are oh, Lord Ron said I was busy with my new apartment and uni work. Lord Ron, you know what? I hope you are enjoying your new apartment and uni is coming along okay. Where are you at? Like, are you in your final year? Or just starting? I know we spoke about this before. But no matter how hard I try, it can't be that I can keep all of this information in my head. So, look. I hope, well, Lollipop is definitely echoing the sentiment of the house. And hoping you are feeling at home in your new apartment, darling. There you go. Anyway, my dear Lollipop, Tapeta, Seasons, all of you, how are you people? Come talk to me. I mean, come talk to me, but I can barely even focus to read what you're saying to me. Don't leave me out here on my own. Some days I feel left out of the chat. Look at me moaning. Right. That is one pan lined. I'm making 2 layers of 8-inch cake. Okay. Seasons is greasing the side of the pans prevents the cake from sticking. But is it necessary to actually flour to? No. So you can do, okay, so answering your question, Seasonings, you can do one of 2 things. I mean, for guarantee that your cake won't stick, it's always best to have a liner at the bottom. That is guaranteed. Just so that you know you've got yourself sorted, just in case the cake doesn't stick. But you know you can't even line a burnt pan. So for me, the greaseproof paper sticking is neither here nor there. As long as your pan is greased in some form to prevent sticking. But I do this out of habit, to be honest. I just don't fancy the risk, and I've done it so long that whether it makes a difference, I don't care anymore. I do it. But if you want to flour it, you don't need this. You don't need the greaseproof paper. You can either have the greaseproof paper or greaseproof liner, or you can actually just put grease in it and then flour it. Adding the flour is just extra guarantee to make sure that it doesn't stick. So you can do the flour mixed into butter or oil and then grease it all together. That is fine. Or you can spread the butter to grease it and then sprinkle the flour to kind of on the surface, because then that is what actually prevents this sticking rather than the fat itself on its own. The flour kind of repels the sticking as well. So you can do that. Sprinkle the flour by using the flour and fat of what kind, or just use greaseproof paper. One or the other is fine, but you don't need both. Okay, so that is just by the way. Just adding that here, and that one is done. That's 1/8 inch, and I'm going to go for RD is here. RD say, RD, welcome to the chat. I hope you are keeping well. We haven't seen good vibes though. Lollipop is asking, Gladys, when I bake, I use the paper on the bottom and not on the sides. Is that why I always have a dome? I've tried doing the side bit before, and it doesn't make it doesn't make a difference, and it's not the reason why you have a dome at all. Doming is caused by several different factors. In fact, the thing with doming is that the reasoning for doming is so wide. You will find somebody who might just put it down to heat and how heat moves around, like, and how hot the oven is. But no, doming is inherently a recipe problem. depending on how the recipe is optimized with the ingredients coupled with the heat, it's likely to rise. Some recipes will always dome a little bit, but a very profound or a protruding dome is indicative of heat, but it's not always. So no, the simple answer is no. Lining the tins makes no difference at all to doming of the cakes. Audie says she's gonna make some tea and enjoy the show. What have you been doing the last few days we haven't had a show, my love? Because I've been out here. What am I looking for? Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So we need Andy says, I have been grieving. I missed you. Thank you. What a privilege to have you. I doubt you were grieving, but you know what? It is still great to know you're back. I miss you all too. You know, let's not underestimate how important we are or we feel about each other, you know. I'm just some girl who woke up and thought, I'm gonna get on the internet and talk about my cake life, as in what I do, and share that with you. And then suddenly it's like, I go to bed with you people in my head. Is that a good thing? Oh dear. Anne is back. Anne, how are you, darling? Who on here is on TikTok? I kind of feel like I keep bringing TikTok drama over here. Who is on TikTok? That is not to say go and open a TikTok account. You're not missing anything. In fact, you'll be saving your mental health if you're not on TikTok. There you go. I think if it wasn't for the sake of, remember the day we came and we were playing, it's getting hot in here. The day we decided to take our clothes off, no, we didn't, okay? And then we ended up with a copyright strike. It's getting hot in here. Right, so I was just thinking out loud. I was like, oh, I could actually, if I could only afford to leave you with music, I would just go off to the shop. It's only, the shop is about 5 minutes from here, but no. No, we that's a whole lot of people to go to bed with, isn't it? No, we ain't a Bonnie Blue over here, okay? I don't think I have that capabilities, okay? Let's just leave it as that. Oh, I think what you know what I meant anyway, so that is just by the way. Go ahead and tell us what's happening on TikTok. My people, what's happening on TikTok? There's a lot happening, but you know what TikTok has taught me? Let me just line this thing and then I'll talk to you, okay? Because it's about to be a whole tangent. So grab your cup of tea. This is your warning to say, if you're not sitting down, grab a seat. grab a seat because Sandra is back. That's all. And if you've been here long enough, you will know who Sandra is, okay? And if you didn't know who Sandra is, here is a build up to who Sandra is. Sandra is our problematic customer who got some cupcakes and raised such unfounded claims. Eventually, we just let Sandra go. Like, we gave her some money and we said, goodbye, Sandra, have a good day and don't come back, okay? So that's Sandra. Did I tell you we were going to be organizing ingredients? Okay. Let's talk about Sandra and TikTok. Thank you, Anne. Anne says, you make my day. Adi says, Auntie Sandra needs a bottle of wine before she said, my dear. Well, Sandra wasn't exactly in my, it's not exactly on TikTok, but my rant, is it a rant or I'm just unpacking my thought process? You, my people, I think you guys will understand. Because I think the overarching thought is, why is our world lacking humanity at all? Like, why? And I am not saying this like looking down at the little person or from a judgmental point of view. I'm just saying it because it is so, you know, when something is in your face, I just cannot like find a way to kind of do away with it. And here is why I asked that question. If you've been here before, okay, let me just summarize this story for those of you who don't know about Sandra. Sandra is a customer. This is going back in March. Sandra is a pseudonym anyway. Sandra is not the customer's name, okay? We don't throw stones at customers here. And over here, actually, we have a value system of not dragging or highlighting customers, even if they are wrong. We don't make a habit, or I will say I don't make a habit. In fact, it's important for me to not actually speak about customers even when they have behaved so poorly. The simple reason is that I don't want to weaponize an audience against them. I don't believe it's fair and I don't think it's right. The reason why Sandra's issue became a subject to talk about was because Sandra's cupcakes were made on a live, right? And as it developed, Sandra's behavior played out on a live because I was having to deal with it in real time on some of my lives. But even so, I made a conscious effort to say I wasn't going to be dealing with the Sandra issue at my worst days when Sandra was being very difficult and unbecoming. So I gave it time, and I believe the only reason, or I did reiterate, the reason why Sandra became a subject to even discuss was because I wanted it to be a subject for us to learn something from. So more like a teachable moment rather than stirring drama and weaponizing an audience against Sandra. And even in this moment, that principle and value system remains. So I want you to hear me using Sandra as a subject of education and teachable moment instead of just being petty. But the reason why the Sandra subject is very profound, I'll summarize, is Sandra's mom contacted me to get cupcakes. Mind you, Sandra's mom is over 70. If you're over 70, I am not being disrespectful to you, but it matters because when you're dealing with an elderly person who has like some disabilities, you will only be inhuman to not treat them so kindly above the expected norm. And I think I treated Sandra's mom above and beyond what the value of what she was paying for her cupcakes was, without going into the details. So Sandra's mom gets her cupcakes. In fact, Sandra's mom was buying the cupcakes for Sandra. So Sandra's mom takes the cupcakes. I honor everything, and what is important here, if you're listening to this story, is that I honored every single threshold of business relation in accordance with written policy and due process and practice. These are important because sometimes people assume just because you're a home baker means that you're just winging stuff. No, if you're a home baker, there is a responsibility that is supported by legislation and guidance for which you will be held liable should things happen or go wrong. So for that, I take my business very seriously. Never mind the fact that we laugh and we play over here. The business aspect of dealing with customers is something I take so seriously. So when Sandra's mom purchased these cupcakes, trust me and believe every word when I say I honored every little detail that would meet expectation in terms of business dealings. Now, Sandra's mom takes the cupcakes. Sandra, 6 days later, mark this, 6 days later, Sandra drops me a very snotty email, literally kicking and screaming. I don't want to go back to reading the details of the email, but the email read in parts, the cupcakes that were baked right here on a live that you people have watched me bake time and again on this platform. This woman claims the cupcakes were so bad, they were so dry, the buttercream was so odd, the birds wouldn't eat them, and everybody was poorly after eating the cupcakes. Check the surprise that she never even returned one cupcake. The cupcake that made everybody poorly, but no one ate them, and the birds wouldn't eat them. That didn't make sense. But even so, I didn't hold Sandra to her own standards. In fact, I left Sandra I treated Sandra like respectably, even though she didn't give me the same treatment or what I would have expected her to do, even if she had the same complaint. But anyway, eventually, long story cut short, I gave Sandra's mom a refund of the 50% value of the cupcake she purchased. And that wasn't an acknowledgement of fault. And before I did the refund, I made sure I went through every little policy detail to make sure that she understood, for which she eventually conceded and accepted that she would accept the refund just because she understands that it wasn't an admission of fault. I wasn't buying her innocence or silence or anything. It was just the case that by the time I came to realize what was happening, it was a simple case of she had buyer's remorse. She wanted cupcakes for her daughter. She thought she was paying for cupcakes for a price, and I think she just regretted paying such an expensive amount for cupcakes. That's not my fault because she knew the price of what she was paying for. So she claimed she didn't like the cupcakes because she didn't like the taste. In terms of liability, taste is subjective. If you came to me and I gave you exactly what we had agreed, which is actually in written form and can be proven for a perishable product, and you change your mind, as long as reasonably accepted, like it has to meet a common sense threshold. And the common sense threshold is when she contacted me, she knew what I was selling. She had seen the information on the website. We had gone back and forth with all the details. Much of it was written in written form because she was a deaf person. So there was nothing that was like surprising to her. So if you want to buy food and the food doesn't taste like the way you perceive it, you can't blame the cook for giving you something else, because as far as they know, they gave you the food you asked for that was discussed and agreed. But I also saw above the business and just saw an elderly woman who would probably be feeling a little bit sorry for herself. And I thought beyond just like common decency, empathy and humanity prevailed. I thought, you know what? Her money doesn't really make a big difference to me. So let me just give her something to make her happy. And that was what it was. This was way back in March. And the Sandra issue has gone to sleep. Now tell me why I decided to go and post that on TikTok. Tell me why. I went the same, I have posted the same subject on YouTube. I don't know why I went and I posted this on TikTok. And I think the humanity, that the question that I was asking, that where are people's humanity, is I had cake makers fighting me and my decision in my own comment section, telling me why they would not refund her any money. And before you ask, I didn't post this in part. I dumped the entire text chain, obviously obscuring any identifying details, right? But the entire text chain from start, how Sandra started till how we finished. So there's nothing missing. And you can see in the description, like when you post something and you optimize your description, I kind of put my thoughts in there that the refund wasn't an acknowledgement of fault. Like, amongst many things, I just thought it was just the right thing to do, even if it still cost me money. The justification was never that she met the threshold to get any money from me. It was just the right thing to do. And yet I had business people still in my comment section telling me how they would never have given her the money. And it's not a right or wrong situation. I mean, they are not wrong. And I don't feel like it was a right. She didn't, I don't judge it as though she deserved the money, because that wasn't my thought. My thought was, she's an old woman who just feels sorry for the choices she has made. How can I make it better? Am I mad for doing that? Rant over. It's such an anticlimax, isn't it? Because yeah, it was just a gesture of goodwill. And for those of you who don't have TikTok and you want to know, if you go back to my shorts videos, as in if you go to the homepage, you go to the shorts library, just go all the way back to March. So just look out for videos that were posted in March, and it's a series. You'll see a series of, I think, about 4 videos, and you will see the entire like email and how that developed. So you will be able to see it. But yeah, TikTok people were like, no, we aren't having it. Like, why should you give her the money and we wouldn't? And I thought it would be obvious why I did it. Like, I thought, like, especially with the information available, I thought it would be obvious. But it just seems like, for some reason, our humanity is very... we don't care about each other. We don't talk anymore. That said, oh, people, talking about we don't care about each other. I had a parking ticket and now I'm on the receiving end and I can't act like a Sandra either. People, now I am on the receiving end and I can, because this is actually in real time, and this was developing minutes before I came on the live. So here's the gist of what's happening. I went to my local shop, right? And I had a punctured tire on the car park. It's a large car park. And I had to wait for breakdown assistance. You will consider that an accident. I wasn't obstructing anybody, but it meant that waiting for the breakdown assistance meant I ended up overstaying the parking time that was indicated in their guidance, whatever. Like, say, in shops in the UK, you can have up to about 3 hours. And I had to wait about 5 hours for the call out time, which means I exceeded the time. So naturally, they issued me a ticket. And I think I had the sense of mind to realize that that was coming. Because the thing with parking tickets in the UK is that it's very complicated. You never get to speak to a person. They keep moving you from pillar to post, and everything is via email. So I had the sense of mind to take a photo of the car at the time of the breakdown, and also to take a photo of the breakdown attendant, the mechanic. And I think I had everything I needed to support the fact that this was a genuine breakdown, so I couldn't help it. So when they issued the ticket, I could appeal it. Well, they issued the ticket, and the appeal has a 28-day notice on it, like if you want to appeal. And I didn't see the ticket until a few days before. It was because the post came and it ended up accidentally getting stashed around a bunch of letters. So I missed it. Convenient, right? So by the time I came to see it, I had exceeded the appeal date. So I emailed the company with all the evidence, and we're not just talking the photographs. I'm giving them emails of the what do you call it? When I called the breakdown cover, the communication, they would send me a text, they would email me, they even sent me a fault report or something. Whatever they came out to fix, they will send you a report. I added all of that and then sent it off to the company to say, you know what, this was a genuine breakdown. I had no other option but to wait. They said to me, oh, I emailed a person who responded. That person I know is called, okay, let me not call his name anyway. It doesn't matter. So I emailed them and I said, this is the issue. And I provided all the evidence. And then he sent me a link to say, go to this link and appeal. When I clicked the link, it wasn't working. And I took a screenshot of the link that wasn't working. Fast forward a couple of days later, I emailed these people back with all the evidence again and the information about the link not working. Tell me why they've just emailed me to say I missed my chance to appeal. And even worse, the initial £60, this thing is making me angry. The initial £60 fine has now escalated to 170. Like, it doesn't make sense, does it? Why, how did we get to 170? And now I really want to send this person an email and shout my head off. And I'm like, glad you can't be Sandra. You can't do Sandra over here. So this is me telling you about my Sandra tendencies, except I haven't texted nobody. Even the earring left me. Okay, let's put that back. So that's where we are. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. It is. I was so mad. Like, I was literally, you know, now I see how Sandra felt, but Sandra just didn't have impulse control. Because I remember just literally, and I have a very petty spirit if you catch me on a terrible day. Like, I'm the sort of person who will text you something and regret. And it's a habit I'm letting go of. So when I started, I think I typed a certain sentence and I'm like, why are you fighting with somebody you don't know? And then I just left my phone on dark and yeah, I just moved on. So I don't know. I know, Angelina, when the earring fell off, look, we keep it real out here. So between the Sandras in my TikTok comment section and my parking fine, my life, and my earring leaving me over here in the desert. That's my life, okay? Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Alessandro De Rosa. Well, let's see. Could you not speak with the shop? I don't know. Lollipop, I did consider going to the shop to ask them, but I also know that the shop people, as in the owners of the shop, sometimes outsource the car park issue to a third party organization who can be a little bit like brutal. I think this is Total Car Parks. So I don't know. When I go into shop, I'll speak to them, but otherwise I really don't know if they will be any helpful. But yeah, that's where we are, my people. When my earring left the chat. So yeah, me with the parking fine ticket, and them TikTokers in my comment section is just like, I am having existential crisis. Okay? But you know what, my people? I think I'm going to have to go and pick up the ingredients myself, because we've been here for the last 45 minutes and the producer is not here. He said he was going to the local shop and he's still not here. And I don't know how long he's going to be. Lollipop, you don't know the luxury you have not driving. You just don't know the luxury you have. Because between insurance and all the things that come with owning a car, right? Then you have parking ticket people who just don't care about you. They just want to take your money. So enjoy the luxury you have, Lollipop. Enjoy the ride or luxury you have. But right now, like, I'm just in a crisis in my head, because I'm like, where is the big producer? Because I need these ingredients, but he's not here too. So my people, I think I'm gonna have to go and get the ingredients, and let's say we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Okay, those who can make it can make it, because I don't want to come back and you know what? Yep, gas car repair, maintenance, registration. My dear, over here you have MOT, as in MOT is sort of like the yearly sort of car exam, where the car is tested to make sure that the main parts of the car is like roadworthy and safe, if you like. So that you have to deal with yearly. Your insurance premiums to deal with yearly. Then we have what you call road tax, which is the payment you make for the kind of emission category that your car fits in. Then you have your, obviously, fuel and maintaining the car itself, including taking it to your valet and wash service and everything else in between. Then you have car park people. Them car park people, they will send you a ticket. They like, the ticket is £100. If you pay within 14 days, you get 50% discount. Like, what kind of business is that you outrightly offer me a discount when I haven't asked for it? Which actually tells me that it's never a discount. It's actually the original price, right? But in this case, it's just that the original parking ticket itself was supposing I had all the evidence, which I do. It should be null and invalid. But for some reason, they now have, because of the delay in responding, the third party authority that is responsible for enforcing the charge keeps increasing the amount. And now they've increased it to £170 for a parking fine that really was not anything. I'm like, people... Angelina, it's exactly 4:48, and we'll be signing off at 5 o'clock. So we have 10 minutes to go. So when we sign off, I'm gonna go to the shop, come back, sort the ingredients, so that when we come back, the difference is that The only reason I thought, oh, let's exhaust the time and catch up is because I haven't been here for a few days, and my people, we like to catch up. Over here we hold hands and we kick about and have a laugh. But when I'm baking, like serious baking, sometimes chatting is over there because my focus is on the baking. So when we come back, it will just be the baking. We'll talk through the ingredients, and that will be 6 o'clock UK time. It's 5:49 right now. It's 4:49 right now. So we have an hour's break, and then we'll be back to kind of continue the bake. And we're making a chocolate cake. It's a chocolate cake recipe by Claire Saffett. It's actually a very good, reliable recipe. Lollipop said, don't let it get worse, Gladys. They'll keep doubling it. No. You know what? This only happened this afternoon. It was actually, in all in all fairness, in all honesty, it was the reason why I ended up delaying, because I was so angry. Like when I saw the email, I was like, oh, what is wrong with people? Like, what is, you know? So I literally had to take a moment between my text chat that made me stop mid-sentence. I just had to take myself off to kind of clear my head first before getting ready for the live. But now that it's out of my spirit, I'll be dealing with it tomorrow. It's something I can handle. I'm okay. They will have nothing. And Angelina, oh, you're in Ghana. Angelina, to say, is it the first time you're joining us here? It's good to have you. I have to go and kind of fix that ticket, but not today. Today I am not going to be bothered with it, but that's something we will be looking at. You know what? Come to think about it, let's have a look at strudel before. I think at this point it's fair to say strudel is now a hog roast, isn't it? Strudel is now hog roast. Shall we go and grill strudel for for Thanksgiving dinner? Oh, Angelina says mehuya. Don't worry. If we're glad to have you here, Angelina. Great to have you, and thank you for stopping by. It's your first time. Do you bake? We made this doggy cake and strudel's skin. I think what we need, poor strudel. Yeah, poor strudel. Strudel is now a hog roast. We are thinking of grilling. Tabitha says, leave strudel alone. Turn him into a wally, the walrus. I think I'm about to lose some people if I decide to make strudel into a hog roast. No, we're not making strudel into a hog roast. We will be recycling strudel into another doggy cake, I know. But hopefully that doggy cake will be better served and it will look a lot more doggy than a hog roast, okay? Between Lollipop and Tabitha. Tabitha, be kind. But, oh, for those of you who can make it back at 6 o'clock, I'll come and tell you where. Last time I was here, look. Let's have a laugh before we go. Angelina, I tried sometime. Okay, Angelina, I asked if she bakes, and Angelina said, I tried some time ago, and I got a few baking stuff in my kitchen. I bake once in a while. The only thing I can confidently do is, oh, Ghanaian Christmas cake. Oh wow, Ghanaian Christmas cake. I love a Ghanaian Christmas cake. Sweet in parts and not so. Like, yeah, okay. if you, he's still missing his S on it. That is because we know we don't want to personalize strudel just in case we eat strudel. just in case we decide to put strudel on the grill. That's all. You don't want to eat your own pet. But anyway, my people, last time I was here. Now come here. Come and sit here. You last time I was here, I was telling you I was watching Scandal. I wasn't just watching Scandal. I was obsessed. Did you people believe me when I said I was just obsessed with Tony Goldwyn and Kerry Washington? Well, I had to give that up. I had to. Because if you have seen, like those of you who saw there is 10 of you in the chat. Who has seen Scandal? If you haven't seen Scandal, you're not missing anything. Please don't go and watch, okay? Don't go. But all 10 of you in the chat, who has seen Scandal? Tabitha, I could hardly get away from my withdrawal symptoms from Scandal. So I have checked out how to get away with murder, and boy oh boy, it is looking like it's about to be fireworks. And certainly I'm questioning my own choices, like should I or should I not? That's where I am. Lollipop has been good vibes. How are you? Good vibes. You're a little late to the party because we are headed out, but we'll be back at 6 UK time. Yeah? Because, my darling, I literally had to go and say a prayer about just giving Scandal up, because that Scandal had literally taken over my life. It was that serious. Like I wake up and I would scroll and I was looking for all the different clips of Tony and Kerry. It's like, girl, why are you here? Like, why? So no, we ain't about to be watching Scandal no more, like matter of fact. Because sometimes you've got to watch, you've got to be careful what you invite into your spirit, you know. Because essentially the core of that was a toxic president with low morals who was having an affair with his mistress and was treating his wife really, really badly. Why is that even a fun thing? That's all. Good vibes. Come back and see us at 6. Right now, let's go. Strudel is fine. I'm not going to roast strudel yet. I won't keep you too long. I'll see you soon, people. Take care.